Hello everybody, this is Waldorf.
And this is Statler.
And tonight we have the very sad news.
We're doing the last Army book review.
And we saved
a wonderfully
balanced list.
Fill in the word list for last.
Yeah, if you thought the Skaven one generated a lot of whining and...
you may want to stop now.
Yes, get out while you can.
Because judging by the comments...
and this is actually the second part, because we've done, as you've probably already seen, we've done the
runes. So
runes first.
You've heard we use lots of hankies in that one. So we'll see. We'll see what this one has to hold for us.
Let's see what this brings. I'm sure it's fine.
Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised, like we were with the Infernal Dwarves.
Exactly, the Infernal Dwarves. I was pleasantly. I thought it ended up being a balanced army.
Yes.
And I was really looking to rail on that one.
Yeah, a few minor qualms on it, up and down. So,
up and down, which is amazing.
So let's see what this
delve
has
into
to hold.
the Dwarven holds.
Yes, because if the Infernal Dwarves are pretty solid, these guys should be too, right? Because they're basically the same army. One doesn't have magic. Oh wait, I forgot.
Correct.
Never mind.
One doesn't have flying monster. Oh wait, this one does have flying monsters, although it's not called a monster.
Yeah.
Anyway,
doesn't have cavalry.
And they are keeping up the rule of three, where they've got the three little gems.
Yes, they got the three little gems.
So,
an anvil and a hammer.
That's the Dwarven holds. All right, that's enough for now.
Version 1.3.4. Yeah.
Let's get out while it's still good. All right?
For those, let's make a spoiler for those. This is a whining alert.
Yes.
Please skip to the end if.
Don't bother skipping the end. Just know we think this is a broken army. You can quit now, go home, enjoy yourself.
But we can say it is not Ogre Kingdoms or Beast Herds.
It's not either one of those armies.
Exactly.
You're correct.
Exactly.
It's not Orcs and Goblins either. Anyway, let's start with the army-wide rules. We'll start with the fact they're hewn out of mountains.
Yes.
As long as at least one friendly model from a Dwarven Holds unit is armies on the board, all spells cast by enemy models have their casting values increased by +1. This does not increase the casting value of remains in play for purposes of dispelling. Of course not. Why would it? Anyway, we'll start there. Okay, that's fine.
This is like the old-fashioned, instead of giving them extra dispel ability,
dispel dice or
right,
whatever.
Right. And the old lore, they were resistant to magic, right. So giving them a +1, +2, I wouldn't have any problem with, since they can't have their own magic items. Oh wait,
I'm still hoping I'm still holding out for the new magic system in version 2.
Yes.
To have variable dice based on race, and that's a great place for this.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. Well, I think we're hoping version 2 fixes a lot of things.
We are.
Yeah, but as an army rule, to me this fits. I don't have a problem with it.
Because as you'll see after this, we're very optimistic.
Yeah. Brings us to the Ancient Grudge. 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. Dwarven Hold armies have a number of ancient grudges, which confer certain bonuses when attacking specific enemies. The total number of grudges held by Dwarven Hold's army is calculated in the following manner. 1 grudge for each dwarf king in the army. So for each dwarf lord type. D3 additional grudges for each dwarf king mounted on a war throne. Think they want you to take a war throne?
Yep.
1 additional grudge when facing opponents who field units with orcs and goblins or vermin swarm army books.
You know what those 2 armies get versus the dwarves?
Nada.
Okay, just checking.
Nada. Well, at least the
cave goblins get hatred.
At least the goblins are no longer afraid of elves, so
That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's kind of a buff, right?
Sorry,
it's equivalent.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Of course I did.
For each grudge held by a Dwarven Hold's army, the player may choose 1 enemy model or unit to be the target of the grudge. This choice is made after the deployment phase, not before, and no enemy model or unit may be chosen more than once. All models in Dwarven Hold's army gain hatred, so re-rolling, misses, against the begrudged enemy. When an enemy unit is begrudged, any model which joins that unit also becomes a subject to the grudge for as long as it remains as part of the unit. However, if a single model is begrudged and joins a unit, the entire unit does not become subject to a grudge. Characters that are not themselves the target of grudges that have left the begrudged unit are no longer considered begrudged.
Yeah, there's a lot of grudging there, isn't there?
Yeah, so probably D3.
Well, just so you'll...
Well, let's see. It's D3 additional. So it's D3 plus 1.
So if they're playing Orcs and Goblins with a War Throne, they're going to D3 plus 2.
Yes.
Okay. This part here, characters that have left a begrudged unit are no longer considered begrudged.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that all sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
So therefore they had to FAQ it and correct this. So the FAQ says, when a unit containing a character at the deployment phase is begrudged, is the character still begrudged if it leaves the unit? And the answer becomes yes.
Okay.
So, there you go. So the idea is, if you're going to go first, because you're placing your whole army before them, leave your characters out of the units.
Right.
And on your first turn, move them in.
Correct.
Because...
That way you don't have to worry about...
Despite what this says, even after you leave the unit, you are still grudged.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So moving on.
So, I mean, as an army rule, I mean, it's a way to get rerolls into an army. I mean, it's...
Correct.
They made such a big deal about taking the rerolls away for elves. But Beast Herd still have theirs, and this is a way for the Dwarven holds to have it.
Well, the Dwarven holds
against pretty much everybody.
The Dwarven holds used to have hatred towards everything in the Orcs and Goblins, and reducing that to, anywhere from 2 to 5 units is better than it used to be.
For the Orcs and Goblins, yes.
For the Orcs and Goblins, but against other armies, not so much.
It's definitely
It's a very nice bonus they get.
It's a nice bonus.
I won't need, but they get it.
I don't think they need it, but I won't say it's
it's not OP or anything
terribly
like that.
OP or anything like that. But it does make you it does push you towards the War Throne. I don't think I necessarily like that about it, but
right. Anyway, so moving on, they have Relentless, which means if you're composed entirely of models with this rule, when marching you can triple your move instead of doubling it.
Yes.
And
this is an old 8th edition rule.
It is. And I'm assuming will change when they split the movement values.
Yeah.
And it'll be something, whatever that is.
Hopefully it won't be 9 inches.
It'll probably be 3. They'll probably be movement 3/8.
I'm hoping it's 8, because it always bugged me that they could march faster than humans, warriors, orcs, and goblins. It's like, okay, so the dwarves are one of the faster armies. Only elves are faster
when they're marching.
So.
Right. Anyway.
And 1 inch on charge isn't that such a big deal. Brings us to the sturdy rule. Models with a special rule gain thunderous charge. Furthermore, they do not suffer from any negative to hit modifiers from stand and shoot charge reaction.
Thunderous charge.
I don't have a problem with half of this rule. The second half.
The second half?
Yeah.
Every dwarf gets thunderous charge.
That I have a problem with.
That's pretty big. Because, and I would not have that, I would object to it, but I wouldn't object to it as much if it wasn't for the following rule, which is shield wall.
Yes.
As long as you're using a shield, models with this rule gain a ward save 6 up versus non-special close combat. Enemy attacks made to the enemies of their front.
Right.
It improves to 5 up during the first round of combat directly after the unit was charged.
This is pulled from 8th edition also.
So, these two in combination is, well, if you charge, you get +1.
Which makes you an attack army.
Or if you fail your charge and you get charged, well, that's okay because you got a 5-up ward coming out.
Yep.
These two in conjunction with each other, I think, is wrong. One or the other, okay. Not both.
I said I don't.
I don't like either, but
I don't like sturdy. I don't like the thunderous charge part, just because in my mind, this is just my mind. This is not an attacking arm. I know people want to have an attacking option. That's okay.
Right.
I don't think this is the way to do it.
And I don't see
across the army. I'd love to have that in some other armies.
Right.
The second part, the shoot reaction doesn't bug me so much because, as you know, I don't like the -1 to shoot for stand and shoot anyway.
Stand and shoot anyway across the board.
Across the board, because I think it's something else that limits archers' ability to defend themselves. Because basically half the time you're only shooting on 6s. So they have you have expensive archers with dwarves. They're not cheap, so that's okay with me. The shield wall, and that's a defensive thing too. Basically stand and shoot.
Yeah.
The shield wall. It's interesting that they have that weird parry roll, which neither one of us like. but they basically kept the old rule for the dwarves
Correct.
in addition to the parry rule.
In addition to the old, because the old parry rule used to be ward save 6 up.
Exactly, and the dwarves got the +1.
Right.
I said I don't mind them getting a defensive bonus because I always think of them as being really hard to kill guys. We'll see if this all changes with the new split and weapon
Yeah,
skill.
we'll
but
see what happens.
yeah, not a fan of the combination of rules. That's the thing. A lot of things are by themselves are not so bad, but when you start putting them together, they get weird.
You
As you
start
pointed,
stacking them up, yes.
I charged you, but I didn't make it. But now you charge me because it's the next round. I get a better protection.
Next we have the bigger they are, which is I think it only applies to the Slayers, but I'm not sure.
I believe so. Yeah. And the Slayer characters.
Close combat attacks made by models with this special rule always wound on a 4-up. Or better if your strength allows it, but no worse than a 4-up.
Mm-hmm.
When rolling for charge range, if the charge unit contains one or more models of the following troop types: ridden monster, monstrous beast, monstrous cavalry, monstrous infantry, models with this rule gain swift stride for this charge range roll. This does not apply to pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have this rule, you get swift stride when you're charging something big.
Yes.
Simple.
And you win on force. I actually really like this rule. I wish it was a generic special rule that applied to, monster hunting
hunters,
infantry in the
correct.
game. I mean, there's a few armies that could use this.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a problem with the rule. I don't have a problem with the Slayers getting the rule. I just wish it was some other units got this rule.
Yeah, that would actually be a nice thing to throw in
Yeah.
a special rule for the
Yeah.
main one and make it obtainable by other people.
Yeah, because there's just not enough.
The questing knights could use it
Questing Knights could use
because
it.
it wouldn't change the cav at all,
Correct.
except for the 2 wound roll, I guess.
Yeah.
But the foot guys would make them more useful.
Yeah, and then if you look at like the Sylvan Elf Rangers,
Mm-hmm.
you look at the Highborn Elves. Not that they really need it, but they're
The,
strength
like,
6
Lion
anyway.
guys.
The
Lion Guard or
Lion
whatever.
Guard. But I just think it's
Yeah.
the Swift Stride would help. It would help. You have those anti-infantry guys, so it's a nice rule. I just wish it wasn't limited to this army.
Okay.
You're coming with me. Sounds like orc saying.
Orc speak.
It sounds like orc speak. Yeah.
Well, they hate them so much they've adopted
Exactly.
their way of speech.
Who had the speech first? That's the question. Is that what they're really fighting over? Who
Yes.
claiming speech rights?
Well, the dwarves have to wipe out all the orcs so that we can no longer tell the truth that we are the one that they're
see.
copying us.
That's what it is, exactly. Any model with this rule that is removed as a casualty during close combat due to a close combat attack may immediately before removal make a close combat attack with the weapon of its choice for this round of combat. Interesting, it's before the removal and not at the end of combat. This attack must be allocated either to the model that caused the casualty or its unit. In this case, the hits are distributed to the unit, applying all special rules and bonuses. It may, however, never exceed 1 attack or strength 5. This rule cannot be used against casualties caused by impact hits. A Seeker's unit must be at least as wide as it is deep at the start of the round of combat in order to use this rule. Wow.
An
there's a lot of-
anti-conga line
Yeah.
phrase.
Still, it's like, wow. I wish they had more of that deep versus wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said, to me, this is not an army rule. It
Right.
only applies to the units that get the character in the unit, but
Right.
whatever. It's a flavor thing.
And that's okay. I mean, the flagellants have the diet initiative 0 thing, and
What I'm unclear on, it says it may, however, never exceed 1 attack or strength 5, so it supersedes the always wound on a 4 or better.
no, you can be strength 3 and wound on a 4 or better.
Yeah, but what if the toughness 6?
You still wound a 4
You get the 4 or your strength 5.
because it doesn't. This thing up top doesn't say you change your strength.
That's true. That's true.
It just
So
said
you
you're
would,
wounding on
it'd be
a
for the
4.
armor save. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
this applies.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, it brings us to the armory. They have a Worm Slayer rocket. It is a shooting weapon with a range of 24, strength 6, multiple wounds D3, flaming attacks, and reload. Meaning it cannot stand and shoot, I believe.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah. Nice
Flaming,
weapon.
yeah, doesn't have firepower at least, so armor piercing. I mean,
Yeah, well, kind of built in 3, right?
so Sorry. Yeah, but I'm saying it's still. I mean,
Right.
it's a good.
Not in addition to that.
Not in addition to it, Next one is a Forge Repeater, shooting weapon, range 18, strength 5, flaming attacks, quick to fire, multiple shots 4.
Okay.
You don't want to get close to this unit.
No, well, this isn't a unit. This thing is the what carries this? The copters.
Oh yes.
It's the copter
Sorry.
weapon. This is the unit weapon, I think.
Yeah,
Is
no.
this the,
No.
A unit. This is a character.
I'm
weapon,
sorry,
I
I'm
think.
thinking of the old 8th edition where that whole unit had the
Right.
those flame
Correct.
type of guns. Okay. Not sure what they have now. I guess we'll
I don't
find
either.
out.
We'll have to find out.
Okay, so we did the
we
runes.
talked about the runes.
In the runes video. Watch that if you want to see our comments on runes.
And all their magic weapon runes.
Yes.
Armor runes, talisman.
Yes,
arcane,
and
blah, blah,
if
blah.
you're a dwarf lover, we suggest
Lover?
yeah, that too. We suggest you don't listen to that video.
Yeah. Army organization. So characters 40%, core 25,
Standard.
clan thunder, which is their
So that's
shooting,
shooting,
stuff, 35, and their engines 20%.
Okay, so you can make a shooty army, surprisingly.
You can.
Brings us to the Lords of Stone. I'm sorry. They can't dance because they're made out of stone. All right, 40% single model. There's our king. There's the Thane. Movement is only 3 unless they're marching. Weapon skill 7. Ballistic skill 4. Nothing special. Strength 4. Toughness 5. 3 wounds. Initiative 4. A little slow. Attacks 4. And leadership 10.
10.
Makes them very nice leadership. Very appropriate for dwarves.
Correct.
They should be hanging around. Thane is basically the same, except he's only down to weapon skill 6, and he's only got initiative 3. Same speed as a human. 3 attacks and leadership 9. But leadership 9 hero is nothing to sneeze at.
No, not at all.
Although for this army, it doesn't really matter.
Leadership 9 for a 120 point model.
Yeah, although
Like you said, it doesn't matter.
it doesn't really matter for this army. But so they probably should give him a discount just because he doesn't help.
Right.
But the guys
I
come.
think they are. That's why he's so much cheaper.
Yeah. The guys come with plate armor. Nice way to start. 4 up.
Yeah, at least they didn't bother with light armor.
Because they didn't do light armor and make you do the stupid stuff. And yeah, exactly. Have the sturdy and the relentless and shield wall rules. Okay, no surprise. You can be a king for 230 or a Thane for 120. Yeah, it's a 110 difference. That's a pretty big...
it's a big chunk.
Big chunk. May become a battle standard bearer for 50 for the Thane. May take runic items. This is where they have a bonus.
Yeah.
250 for the king. It's 125 ult points. And 150 for the Thane. It's 125 ult. I'm sorry, 75 ult points. So they get a bonus for having more, basically magic. You can call it rune. It's magic stuff.
Magic items, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you saw our other video,
Yeah,
we
they
don't really
need it.
Yeah, they don't need it, or if it wouldn't bother us if the things weren't so cheap. But
Correct.
whatever, you can really make some tanky guys. You can take a shield, 20 points for the king and 16 points for the Thane. Probably better off buying a magic one.
Well, you have to buy this one and put runes on it.
That's right. Yeah, yes, you're right. Yes. May take a shooting weapon, pistol 8 for both. No, that makes sense. Handgun 16 for both. Crossbow 16 for both. That's interesting. The crossbow, I guess, because the extra range costs the same amount.
It's a handgun.
Yeah. May take a great weapon. They're both 20. That's kind of interesting since one only has 3 and the other one has 4
It is
attacks.
kind of interesting that those don't change. I mean, the shooting weapons you can kind of see.
Yeah.
Because the ballistic skill doesn't change.
Yeah. And it's also kind of strange considering the rune. Some of those runes were pretty cheap. If you remember, put them on your dual hand weapons.
Correct.
Yeah. Where was I? May take a mount shield bearers and may take a war throne.
Well, interesting. You don't have a choice for a dual hand weapon.
No, that's for the other guy. The whatever they're called,
Okay.
seeker guys or whatever. Shield bearers 120, and then the war throne is 300. I'm sorry, shield bearers are 120 each. The war throne is 320. That's the thing that gives you the extra grudges,
Correct.
as well as some other things we'll read out in a second. And you may take a hold stone for 60 for the king and 50 for the Thane. Holstone start at any round of combat. A model carrying the Holstone may declare to use it. The model unit will treat its flanks and rears as front for the purpose of parry and shield wall, and may even make supporting attacks to their front and rear. They basically form testudo. They should just call it testudo.
Yes. Go with the historic name.
Yeah, the unit the unit may still be disrupted as normal. Once a Holstone has been activated, the bearer must always accept and issue challenges. That's the negative. Unless another model does so first. Not so negative. The unit cannot pursue any enemies in the same combat in which the Holstone is used. That's a negative. The effects of the Holstone end once the combat is over, or at the end of the phase in which the bearer is removed as a casualty. As long as the bearer is alive, the Holstone may be activated again in later combats. I was okay telling that last line.
It's not a one-use item.
Yes.
It is not a one-use item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shield
It's really
bearers.
good. Now, the interesting thing also on this is, just to point out, this doesn't count against your magic points at all.
Correct.
Because it's an option.
Right.
So if you've got an extra 60 points.
Yeah, which is 30 old points.
Yeah.
Or even on a Thane, 25, big deal.
Yeah. Anyway.
Basically. You still have to play with deeper units to get the use out of it, but.
Right.
But still, yeah.
No, it's very good.
You don't need many because you're not going to have a lot of big blocks in the army anyway.
Right.
Shield bearers. This is an upgrade also.
120 points.
120 points. You
So what do you
basically put your guy on a 40 by 20 base.
Mm-hmm.
You're adding 2 strength 4 attacks at weapon skill 5. You're getting extra wound. And you get mounts protection 5, so it pretty much guarantees you're going to get to a 2-up.
So your plate mail puts you at 4. If you buy a shield, you're at 3.
If you don't buy a shield, you're at 2.
You're 2 up.
Yeah, saves taking a great weapon. Yeah, but you're guaranteed to get to a 2-up with this guy, but probably a 1-up. You get sturdy and relentless, which are already general rules. So that's a pretty nice upgrade. It's not
For 120 points.
It's not cheap though.
It's a wound, 2 armor,
Yeah.
and 2 strength 4 attacks.
Yes.
120 points. How much were we paying for a wound elsewhere?
There was that one thing that was
Like
60 or
60,
something.
I
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
Okay.
Then that brings us to the War Throne, which is very pricey. So, it gives you a 40 by 60 base, so it's taking up a bigger chunk of your frontage of your unit.
I want to point out both these are, the troop types are infantry on both of these.
Yes. So you cannot single them out with shooting or
Correct.
anything.
So they can't get hit by cannons or
Correct.
anything.
Correct.
As opposed to being like a war platform that
Right.
most other people have to ride.
Yes. Okay. Movement 3. The big thing here is you get, not such a big thing, you get 4 strength 4 attacks. Nice to have, but it's no big
Right.
deal. But you get 6 wounds, so plus 3 wounds.
Correct.
Leadership is already your leadership, so it doesn't really affect you there. You get mouse protection 5 also, so same thing. You're at least a 2-up, if not a 1-up. Relentless. You get hatred.
Correct. But you probably already had it from...
Probably, but this guarantees that your character has it now,
Right.
which is going to be issuing some hurt. Majesty of High Kings. A general mounted on a war throne increases the range of his inspiring presence to 18. So it counts as infantry, can't be targeted, but it gets the bonus of 18. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, all friendly units within 6 inches of the war throne gain swift stride.
Perfect.
So they actually are better charging than almost everybody. Okay, infantry. 2 inches, an extra d6 is 3.5. Yeah. Average out on the dice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If a character mounted on a war throne joins a unit and is subsequently slain, the unit gains frenzy. That's flavorful. That's
Yeah.
cool. I don't know about the swift stride. I don't know about the 18-inch on it. But it's a nice upgrade just because
It's fantastic.
it makes you so resilient, and as you said, it doesn't.
The 18-inch inspiring presence is fantastic with your leadership 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most units are already 9s or whatever, but
Yep.
this brings you up to that 10,
Yep.
which is huge.
Especially if your unit's like running away and it's down to 50%.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
25%. I mean. Yeah.
So that's really good.
Yeah.
The fact The fact that it's their infantry classed as infantry bugs me a lot. Maybe not so much on the shield bearers, but the war throne bugs me.
It only bugs me because of the 18.
Yes.
If it didn't do the 18, then yeah, because there's
Right.
no, you're big but you're not big. So
Right.
I mean, we'll see what they do in version 2. But the Swift Stride, I don't know.
Swift stride for everybody
For everyone within
6.
6
is
inches.
what's huge.
I think is yeah, they're trying
to give you the opportunity to be the attack.
to make an
army.
attack army. The problem is you get all this and there's nothing negative on the war machine.
Correct.
So basically, you just sit back and shoot the crap out of people, and when they get close, you obliterate them. So,
When they get in charge range,
Yeah.
you charge a little bit further, so you go get them.
exactly, and then if you fail, you still got your shield wall.
Still, if you make it, you get
Oh,
thunderous
yeah,
charge, and
yeah.
if you fail, you got shield
Yeah,
wall.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I agree. That brings us to the Dragonseeker for 220. He's movement 3, weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 4, strength 5, tough 5, wounds 3, 5 initiative for a dwarf, 5 attacks, 10 leadership.
He starts off with 5 initiative.
So we go to paired weapons and a great weapon. So if you go paired weapons, now you've got a
He's 6
dwarf
initiative.
with initiative 6.
Yes,
He's sturdy, relentless.
that's before any runes.
Correct. He's unbreakable. He has a ward save of 6. He's a weapon master. He's got the ability, so he gets swift
The big
stride,
arm.
charging monster stuff. You're coming with and he always wounds on a 4.
Yep.
So therefore, it's encouraging the paired weapons because you're going to have 6 attacks wounding on 4s if you fight the toughest creature out there.
Yeah.
Or you can go great weapon.
If you're fighting something that's toughness
Speed
4.
strength 7.
Yeah.
So anyway, lethal strike. Not a leader. He can't be your general. He has Vanguard
Yes.
and MR1, magic resistance 1.
Which, who cares?
He can take 150 points worth of a weapon. He cannot take any armor or talismans or whatever.
Yeah,
so he's
so-
limited to a 150 point weapon.
Right. So he can't protect himself with any kind of wards or armor.
Correct. Which is definitely a downside.
Yeah. He's a survive on his toughness 5 alone.
And he can become a monster seeker for 60, which gives him multi wounds 2 versus monstrous beast, infantry, cav, monsters, and ridden monsters.
Yeah.
Which is an auto take, it looks to me. And Grim Resolve gains +1 attack for each enemy character and for each enemy model in base contact.
That is the auto take.
That? I don't think so.
For each enemy
gonna give
model
you-
in base contact?
It's going to give you at best, what, +3?
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a tough choice. I guess you gear him up for what you're doing.
Oh, it's I guess how much you want to pay for the guy. Yeah. Oh, it's one of the following. Sorry.
Yeah, you can only take one.
Yeah.
I guess if you're planning on your cannons to deal with monsters, you can go with the Grim Resolve and have him just eat units. Because, 6 attacks +3, now he's got 9 attacks.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's
Fighting 20 millimeter infantry. Where you don't really, to me though, you don't really need that against 20 millimeter infantry.
yeah. You don't. You don't.
So I don't think this is a necessary. It sounds good, but I just don't think that's where your points are needed.
9 attacks though.
Infantry aren't your problem though.
Yeah. 9 attacks.
Well, you already got 6
Yeah.
with hatred, with weapon skill 7 and hatred. Come on,
So just,
I know it's 9 attacks.
yeah, or
but
just say 8 attacks in a cavalry unit. It's just so nice. Okay, brings us to the Runic Smith. Okay.
John Smith?
This is John Smith's cousin, Runic. 175 points, single model, movement 3, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 3, no shooting there. Strength 4, toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 3, 2 attacks, leadership 9. So this is their non-magic user.
No, it can't be because he's got plate mail.
Exactly. That's what I said. There's a non-magic.
got
He's
plate
on 20
armor.
by 20. He starts with plate armor. He's got the standard dwarf special abilities. He gets to channel, and he gets MR1. MR1, whatever. He can take runic items up to 200. So he's basically a hero level, and he gets the standard hero. He doesn't get the bonus like the guys on top. He
Right?
can-
He's a hero level that gets
Oh, I'm sorry.
200 points.
200 point. Yes. Sorry, got it backwards.
He's a hero that gets a
Yes,
standard
yes.
lord allotment.
Yes, I was already.
And then the other
I
army.
was having twice.
Sorry,
So
okay.
that's what I meant to say. Yes, he's a. Yes, I'm totally confusing myself. He's a hero level, basically. By we're assuming that he is because he's got 2 attacks. I mean, I guess and the other lower stats.
Right.
Who gets the Lord's level of magic runes? Once again, wouldn't care if the runes weren't so cheap.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. The other characters are paying 20 points for a shield.
Yes.
He's paying 4.
Yes.
And he has shield wall, same as them.
Yes. He's not as fighty.
It's not about fighting, it's about living.
Yeah, but that's kind of how they. Like, that's why
Okay.
Guys are tougher, and they're.
Okay.
That's just how they do it. And he may take 3 different battle runes, which you can see our video on that. So basically, 3 bound items for 20 points per rune. So less than half the price of a magic level.
Correct. But
and
you have
much
the
easier to
disadvantage of
cast.
choosing what you have.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get, and they're much easier to cast, but they are easier to dispel.
And they're short range.
The-
They are short range.
yes,
Although most of them are defensive stuff, so.
correct. Runecraft Mastery. The Runesmith and all models in the same unit gain armor piercing 1, so he gets a unit buff on top of the other stuff. The Runesmith may dispel as if it were a wizard master, so even though you're paying the points for basically a
low-level
wizard, you're getting the wizard master bonus.
And remember that the other opponent's spells cost 1 more to cast as well. On top
Yes,
of
yes, and can cast bound spells from the runic as either power level 4 with 6-inch range or power level 5 at 12-inch range. Does have to use 2 dice because he doesn't get a plus for those. But
that. If you remove the battle runes, I like this thing a lot for this army.
yeah, I don't have a problem with it if you remove the battle runes.
Correct. Because he
The,
dispels as a wizard master. That's great. You're +2
Yeah.
to dispel.
Like that.
That's really good.
And there are other guys +1 to cast. I like that. Yeah, no, I'm fine. This was I don't know.
But the battle runes are just
This is like
really dumb.
to me the biggest problem in this book is they've made this a powerful magic army.
right.
Which is what's the point of then having the infernal dwarves if these guys basically can do almost all the same stuff, but
Correct.
in many ways better.
And since they using magic powerfully, then why are they defensive?
Exactly.
Magic defensive.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Exactly.
that gives us the engineer for 140.
Yeah.
You can only have 2 of them.
Yeah.
He counts towards both characters and engines of war, so he does count against your engines allotment.
Always hate those things.
He has weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, tough 4, only 2 wounds.
Yes. He's an old hero level. Keep his points down.
3 initiatives, 2 attacks, 9 leadership.
Yes.
He does come with plate and the sturdy Relentless shield wall.
Surprised didn't he used to not have a plate option?
I don't think he did.
Yeah, or whatever it was called, runic armor, or whatever.
Right.
Looks like they give it to everybody. Whatever, it's okay.
Gromroll armor, I
Yeah,
think it was.
yeah, it was Grommel. Yeah.
He has a special rule for engineer, and he has entrench. During the deployment phase before deploying scouts, can entrench 1 war machine. The war machine counts as being in hard cover. Loses this rule permanently if it moves. That's fine. He can take up to 100 points worth of runic items, which is fine. Standard allotment for a hero.
I don't.
What?
So basically, it makes it really hard to hit their war machine
-1.
for shooting. Yeah. So
Only 1 war machine.
I would like this to be part of the overall engineer rule. There aren't that many engineers in the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good. That would be a good addition.
Yeah.
Except I don't want to see Sunstall guys with dug-in Hellblasters,
Yeah. Well,
volley guns. Anyway,
you don't have to see the volley guns here either. So
anyway, so he has 100 points worth of runic items, which is back down to a
the
standard allotment for a hero.
allotment. Yep.
Shield, great
Your 4-point
weapon,
shield.
and he can take a shooting weapon. So pistol, crossbow, handgun, forge repeater, or a worm slayer rocket.
So he can have the 2 shooty things.
He can have either one of the shooting.
I
things.
don't remember the engineer rule. Can you shoot and use your ability or not?
Yes, I believe you can.
Okay, then that makes those as one of those is a definite take.
Yeah, I think you definitely take one of these.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both good.
Yes, they are.
So the engineer's a nice, solid model. I actually kind of like this. I don't have a problem with anything that's in the engineer guide.
No, I
fine.
don't really. I don't like the split allotment in any of the armies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just like some more
The
creative.
point cost.
I'd like some more creativity as far as the army composition, but
Did they just ignore your creative suggestions?
I suspect they ignore everything that we say. I'm not sure they actually listen to our channel. Why would they? Who the hell are we?
Because they want to hear some whining.
Exactly. The brings us to the Anvil of Power. The Anvil of Power. It's a great name.
Dun, dun, dun.
The great name. Something wrong with the piece though. 200 points. 100
Okay.
old points. You can only have one in the army. It's a single model on a 60 millimeter round, so it's 360. The anvil is toughness 4, 5 wounds, kind of like a war machine.
Yep.
It's got, and it is a war machine.
It is a war machine.
It's got 3 guards, each which have 1 strength 4 attack. Yeah, okay. They have plate armor, so they got a good save.
4 up armor.
Yep, and they have a ward save 5, and they MR 2, so 3 up against attacking spells. So you can't magic it. This is okay so far. It gives you a channel, which,
Not for 200 points.
well, so then it's the runic anvil. And we have the anvil guard. They are unbreakable. So it's an unbreakable leadership 9, probably 10, because it'll be close enough to the general,
At least, yeah.
at least within 18 inches. Not a character. This model is not a character, even though it counts towards the character's category. Does it only count towards the character's category? I didn't. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The runic anvil, anvil of power, can make the spell attempts as if it were a wizard apprentice. No problem there. Wouldn't even mind it being a master. An anvil of power may choose up to 3 different bound spells. This is where I don't like it. From among the battle runes for free, and the anvil runes below. All the battle and anvil bound spells cast at anvil power range have a range of 36 inches. Battle runes are cast with a power level of 4, while anvil runes are cast at a power level of 5. You, for free, you get a spell that's universal, instant, and it duration lasts 1 turn or remains in play affecting the target. The spell immediately comes to an end. So it's basically an uber dispel ability.
It's a way to lift curses, hexes, and
Right,
buffs.
and hexes and buff, which is something you'd think the highborn elves would have. But
Right.
36, that's a very nice thing. Not inappropriate for the army, just because it's anti-magic.
Correct. It's anti-magic.
Yeah, no problem with that one. Now we have the Room of Storms. It's a damage and it's a hex. Instant, lasts 1 turn. The target instantly suffers D6 strength 6 hits with lightning attacks. The target cannot use flying movement for the duration of the spell, because 1 ability is not enough. We can give it 2. This is cast on a 4. That was that.
It casts on a 5. Because it's a anvil.
Anvil
rune.
runes are cast. Oh, okay, yes.
So it needs a 5 to get this
Yes,
off.
so 2 dice.
D6 strength 6 with another D6 strength 4 following behind it because of the lightning attack. So you're going to hit a flyer.
Yes.
And it cannot fly.
And then it
Not
can't
if
fly.
you're wounded, you cannot fly.
Yeah.
You just can't.
You cannot fly, exactly. Then we get the Rune of Shattering, 50 points for that one. It's a damage, it's a hex. So these cost the same as a spell that you don't know what you're going to get.
Correct.
And it's easier to cast than almost all spells, with a few exceptions. Instant, lasts a full turn. The target instantly suffers 2d6 strength 4 hits. Units who suffer at least 1 wound from the runic bound spell suffer a -1 to hit modifier in close combat, and treat all terrain, including open terrain, as dangerous terrain. Because why have 1 ability? We can have 3.
Correct.
I mean, the one's a little more limited, but you'd have to shoot at somebody who's going to charge you
Correct.
for it to matter.
For the
but,
-1 to hit. matter.
yes. So they're going to charge you. You zap them. Then they're going to be -1 to hit, and they're going to be losing guys when they charge you.
Yeah.
So
You should lose 1 out of 6 when they're charging you.
Yeah, that's 2d6 strength 4. That's
Well, it costs 50 points. Come on.
yeah. Now I think let's add this to we are not fans of these. Basically, what we think are, call them whatever the hell you want. They are spells. They are aggressive spells.
Correct.
For an army that's supposed to be
Defensive.
doesn't-
non-magic defensive army.
Yes. At least in our
Like I
in
said,
my
this
mind.
rune of cleansing, I think, is
Perfect.
Is a
I
great
have
flavor
no
thing
problem
for
with
this
that
army.
one. I'd have no problem if the runes, gave MR to units,
Right.
Gave you a ward save against magical attacks.
Even bump your armor by 1.
Any of these things, I'd be okay. But zapping stuff, I'm not a fan. And at least in the old days, when you had like these zappy things, you could actually break your rune. You could actually break your anvil.
Oh, right.
That's even
There's
gone.
a roll to break it. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enough of that nonsense. Let's get to the core.
The core of the army.
We have clan warriors for 120. You get 10 of these guys.
Yep.
And you can add up to 30 more for 14 apiece.
So so they're about human stat.
They
price,
are.
Price. Yeah.
Weapon skill 4, though.
Human orc price.
Movement 3. Weapon skill 4. Ballistic skill 3. Strength 3. Tough 4. 1 wound, 2 initiative, 1 attack, 9 leadership for a core unit.
Yes.
Which, again, fits the army, but 9 is really big. It's always been 9.
9s for the Dwarven. The weapon skill 4.
Weapon skill 4. Tough 4.
Not sure about the weapon skill 4. I mean,
that's fine.
not for the I don't know, just for the point. You're losing an initiative.
It doesn't matter because no one takes these anyway.
That's true, because you have the
Because
same
you got
problem
the
everybody
unit
else.
coming up next.
Yeah. Anyway,
But they have heavy armor.
Okay.
Standard dwarf rules, all of them.
right.
A single unit can be made to Vanguard if you're less than 30. If you're up to 30 models, for 2 points apiece. You can take shields for 2 points
Greybeard.
apiece. Throwing weapons for 2.
Why do they put the Greybeard reference here? It's just confusing.
Because it's saying you can't do one of each.
Ah,
They want to make sure you can only do one per
Okay.
army.
okay. I see.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Yeah,
if-
I see. Okay.
If
Yeah.
they just said
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of
Okay,
these,
okay.
2 points for a lot of different things. Paired weapon spears. Dwarves can have spears in this edition.
Yes,
Which
that's
they
fine.
never could before.
I don't care about that.
Great weapons for 6, and standard command upgrades, including a veteran standard bearer.
Yes.
So, all in all, this is a very nice unit. It's fine. It's
for,
great
for a core unit,
for a
it's,
core unit. It's fine.
it's not gonna win
Correct.
big battles or anything.
But it's a core unit at a decent price. To fill up your army. Great. I mean, these are old 7 points. Remember that.
For the additional. That's true.
Um,
7's fine. I was looking at the first 10, and you get a discount for those anyway. So yeah, you're right.
so
Nothing wrong with this
I
unit.
don't think there's anything at all wrong with this unit, and you'll probably almost never see it because
You got these guys. We have the Greybeards, which are 180 points. So
also core.
which are also core. 10 models. You can add up to 20, which is less, but for 22 points. So the additional ones are
Pricey.
substantially pricier. But for that, you get movement 3, weapon skill 5. So I think it's one of 3 weapon skill 5 core units
Core.
in the game.
Okay.
Ballistic skill, if I remember correctly, could be wrong. Ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 4, 1 wound, initiative 2, 1 attack, leadership 9, again on a 20mm base. Heavy armor again. Standard dwarf rules. They're immune to psychology, so you can't flee with them. They're scoring. They've seen it all. All friendly units within 6 inches of a Greybeard unit may reroll failed panic tests. Okay.
Yeah.
Not that, since they're always clapped in the corner, that really matters.
Well, it does matter because if you do fail, you're off the table.
Yes.
That's the problem. See, that's why
My point is your battle standard is being range of your army.
This is why the dwarves need all these buffs, is because when they fail their leadership check,
Right,
they're off the table.
because they're all sitting in the back
you're
corner.
always on
yeah.
the back corner.
Yes,
You're against the
exactly.
back line. You've got no reason,
Absolutely.
room to flee.
You need a bonus to help you do that. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. A single clan warriors. Yeah, we already had that. 2 points. May take a shield. 2 points. Throwing weapons, twice as much, but they're strength 4 as opposed to strength 3.
Correct.
That can mess somebody up if you want to pay the points.
It can.
Great weapon, and may take 1 model with the standard command things. And let's do our bit here, which I don't like having to pay for command. I think it should be incorporated into the unit. And you can have a veteran standard bearer. This is one of the armies on the negative side. When they went to the veteran standard bearer, I don't like, because I said I think there's certain armies that are more
Elite armies.
elite armies that they shouldn't be limited to a single veteran standard bearer.
Correct. Among their core.
Yeah, among their core.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is one of these armies. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, challenge here is I guess if you want more models, you go with the other guys.
Right.
Defensively, you're about the same. The weapon skill 5 versus 4, but you're giving up 1 on strength. So, and then this question of do you build them so they're defensive with a shield, Or do you, since they don't give you a plate option, or do you build them so they can cause wounds with great weapons? So
Yeah, causing wounds bumps these guys up to 28 a model,
Yeah.
and that's real pricey.
it is.
You've got
it
other
is.
things to do that with,
It is. I'm saying, but you have
in my
some.
opinion.
You
But
have
they
some
do
interesting
some
options.
flexibility.
Yeah. So.
Unless you're going to do it in smaller, like you do an MSU thing where you took 10 of these with great weapons.
Yeah, I mean they had the low leadership, so in MSU is.
Low leadership.
I'm sorry, lower initiative.
Okay.
I've said the wrong thing. So in MSU is a little risky against a number of opponents, but a leadership 9
Right.
and a decent armor save, yeah, you might be able to do it with this army, especially as you can march 9. So
All right. So it gives us the clan marksman for 210. You can get 10, and you can add up to 15 more at 21 points a model.
yep,
You count both towards core and clan thunder. This is one of those things where this counting towards,
yep, which I don't like.
well, the fact that it counts towards clan's thunder, and it also fills your core requirement,
Yeah,
makes you can do a gun line.
it does, but
push
it means it's taking away from War Machine. So
It is not war machines.
is that in
Clan's
Clan's Thunder?
thunder is the different ones.
That's the
Remember there's
regular
two.
shooting. Yeah.
Anyway, they have crossbows. Standard dwarf, strength 3, tough 4,
Right.
standard dwarf, leadership 9,
Weapon skill 4.
weapon skill 4. Yeah, that's just a standard dwarf stat line.
Yep.
They have crossbows, heavy armor, relentless, sturdy shield wall.
Oh, they come with heavy army. That's nice.
Yes,
Not like the old days.
just whether you want to pay for the shield.
Mm-hmm.
They have a handgun free. They can swap the crossbow for a handgun for free,
Yeah.
or they can go to a guild crafted handgun,
Yes, but only one
which
per
we'll
army.
see down below.
Mm-hmm.
Only what?
One
Max
choice
20.
per army.
Where you see that?
Girl crafted handguns down below. It says 0 to 1 choice per army.
Per army. Okay,
Yeah.
not on that line. Okay.
Okay.
It's a shooting weapon. It's a handgun. It's accurate, so it doesn't take a long range penalty. A unit with this weapon cannot be armed with great weapons and cannot use the veteran standard bearer. Okay. You can take a shield. So you're basically paying 4 points a model to not take a long range penalty.
Yes.
Don't know that that's worth that.
I don't think it is.
Because
And
you're only ballistic skill 3.
I don't see why they're limiting it to 0 to 1 per army. But
Yeah. Anyway, can take a shield for 3, great weapon for 6, and standard command upgrades. So it's a pricey shooting unit, but it's fairly tough to shoot back at
yeah,
with T4 and a 5-up save.
unless you give it shields.
Plus you can get a shield if you want to go even more expensive.
Yeah, and get it to
But now you're spending a lot of money
a
into
4-up
it.
save. And yeah, and it's semi-fight. I mean,
But you might want to do it
no,
because of the
no chaff is going to chase
Correct.
this thing away.
because the
From the
shield
front at least.
taking the shield also gives you the shield wall.
Correct.
So I think
Yeah, I think you do.
the shield's close to a requirement.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's
It's a
fine.
good solid
I
unit.
actually wish the crafted handgun was, just a general rule for their handgun, just for a dwarfy thing. I think of the old
Correct.
days when you had certain bonuses. They don't have a great ballistic skill, so that in itself would be okay and maybe not as expensive. So I don't have a
Right.
problem with this unit.
No, I don't either. Again, I just don't know that the guild craft.
I don't think it's worth
handgun
4
is
points.
because they're worth the upgrade.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth
And
it.
it's not only just one per army; it's max
Yeah.
20 models.
Well, the 25 is the max for the unit anyway, so it's not a
It's
huge
just
thing.
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's. So they put this rule in here to stop you from getting 5 extra guys with it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And considering how shooty their war machines are, I mean, whatever. I
Yeah.
think they could have made that bonus cheaper.
correct.
Brings us to special. There's no limit to what you can do with special.
Well,
And we start with the Deepwatch. 330 points. Not cheap, but 15 models. May add up to 15 more models for 28 points per model. So elite infantry points.
correct.
Movement 3 is normal, but their weapon skill 5, plus skill 3, who cares? Strength 4, toughness 4, 1 wound, initiative 2 as usual, 1 attack, leadership 9. So basically, they're regular dwarves with a better weapon skill, 20 by 20. But they do come with
They're the
plate armor.
Greybeards with because they're the strength 4 guys.
Right. They do come with plate armor and a shield, so they start off with a 3-up.
Oof.
So that's really nice.
Yep.
Dwarf rules normal, but they get bodyguards. They put a character in there. They're not going anywhere. They're scoring. They have the Wall of Iron. Ward save of 6 from the shield wall rule is now increased to a 5. So does that mean it goes to a 4?
Ugh.
The makes them resistant.
Hold on.
I have to read that.
That's worth going back and looking for. The Wall of Iron. No. It does not make it better. It says it's improved
Yeah,
to
5. So yeah, so they just basically
have that all the time.
have that all the time. Okay.
So basically, you got a 5-up ward save.
Yes.
If you carry a shield.
And they have the normal command, and they have the full magic standard, 100 points. These guys are pricey. They're elite prices. They don't put out elite damage, but they are really resilient
They're
with the
hard
armor
to
protection and leadership and bodyguard. So very nice
Right.
dwarfy unit as far as I'm
I
concerned.
mean, are they that pricey?
14 hull points. I mean, they're elite infantry prices is what I'm saying. They're not 6 or 7 points.
Right. I mean,
You're
yeah,
basically
the
paying
initial
twice as
ones-
much for these guys.
And the initial ones are costing you 22 points a model.
Yeah.
With a,
They're
22 points a model.
ones, yeah.
22 points a model for a guy with plate, shield, 3-up armor.
Yeah, I mean, Warriors of Dark Gods guys, what are they going
Yeah,
for?
these are really good.
Yeah, they're good. I don't have a problem with them.
Yeah, I'm seeing these guys used as MSU stuff.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that just for a discount.
330 point units running around. So that's Deepwatch. Moving on. Where's my cursor? Not going over there. There we go.
The lost cursor.
There we go. Kingsguard. 360 points for 15 models.
Mm-hmm.
You can add another 15 for 30 points a model. These guys are, they're the same as the guys above them, except they have a second attack.
And they cost more.
2 attacks each, and they cost a bit more.
Yeah. Not that much more, though.
24 points a model for the initial ones.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. These guys come with a great weapon and plate armor. So your strength 6, 2 attacks.
You're limited to only 5 of these because you're going to have so many points to spend on them.
Crap. I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Didn't notice they'd put a limitation on there. Does that mean someone spammed this and went with more than 5 units at some point?
It would seem so.
And scared them into putting that in there?
Yeah.
They have plate mail, plate armor, relentless, sturdy, shield wall, bodyguard with the general or the dwarf king. They're scoring. They can take a shield for up to 2, which will help you versus shooting because you got a great weapon and you got to use that in combat.
Yep.
But 2 points to bring your shooting save down to a 3, I think, is probably worth it on models that are costing you this much.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose one to a shot,
Yeah.
to a strength 3 bow.
That's true. But it's 15.
I mean, you're
15
paying...
15 whole points, 30 points. I mean, it's elite infantry pricing. Yeah.
Correct. I mean, you're paying 24 points a model. Are you going to skimp and 2 points to not be shot? Anyway.
Depends what you're looking for points, I guess.
I
But yeah.
guess, if you're scraping. Standard command upgrades and 100 points magic standard.
Mm-hmm.
These are the old, great weapon guys that have always been
It's
there.
interesting that they moved both of these units up to 15s and not 10s.
I think it stops you from MSUing them.
Yeah, but they could have done that with, units per army.
Correct. I'm surprised they put a units per army limit on these.
With that size, yeah.
I really am.
Because
It might have been a holdover for maybe when they used to have 10 per unit.
Yeah.
If they did.
I mean, to me, elite armies are the ones that should be able to play MSU, and this
Right.
is definitely an elite infantry army. So
Right. But 5 of these units, I mean, that's what... if you go bare bones...
1,800 points.
It's, it's actually, 2,100 points, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because 5 times, 18, you're right.
Yeah,
18, right at 18.
Yeah, if you don't take any upgrades.
If you don't take any upgrades at all, it's 1,800 points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a chunk. I don't know that that's necessary. But anyway, so another solid unit, but nowhere near as resilient.
It's interesting that the other one has bodyguard for everything,
Right.
but this is the King's Guard, and so it only has bodyguard for the general.
Correct. Or a dwarf lord, who's a dwarf king.
Yeah, okay, for a dwarf lord. So yeah, it's kind of weird. To
I
me,
guess
but
they made that exception
I guess-
so that if you take a hero for your lord and make him the
yeah,
general.
I mean,
that's
I guess
good.
it's for fluff reasons they do that.
I guess.
But just
It's got to be
interesting.
fluff.
It's just interesting the other unit has the rule too. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, yeah, just put. I guess you put all your big blocks always have characters, so
So
everybody's
they're
stubborn.
all stubborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it other item not so good because you're always stubborn. Well, you're always facing, so it still makes it good because you're stubborn and you're facing.
Well,
Fighting in all your ranks.
so the guys up above, these guys, the Deepwatch, you can throw a Runesmith guy in there and become bodyguard.
Or just
become stubborn.
Standard bearer or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm. Brings us to the miners. Miners, not minors.
They let those guys out?
Yes. 180 points. The 10 models, so 18 points for the first group, may add up to 10 additional models, so only 20 max for 20 points per model. So they're not cheap. They're not super expensive.
No.
Only 3 per the army. Heavy armor again. Dwarf rules. They get ambush and they get scoring.
I'm not a big fan of both those in combination.
I don't like that combination for something that can rank up. Yeah. I don't mind the ambush rule. I don't like the scoring on an ambush unit. Yeah.
Right.
A lot of units, they trade when they go to light or whatever. Yeah. Options must take at least one of the following options. So this
well,
makes
they
it
have to have ambush scoring because how else can their slow-moving guys get
correct.
into
Correct. Marching 9 can't get you there. Or yes, you're right.
So there you go. Sorry, I didn't
yes.
think you were missing that fact.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. So they have to buy at least one of the following.
Okay.
All right. Throwing weapons for 4 points. Pistols for 5. So throwing weapons will give them 2 strength 4 attacks. That's nice.
Yep.
Pistols will give them a strength 4 shot.
At the same range.
At the same range and counts as extra hand weapon, right?
It does.
Yeah, so it gives them an initiative boost. And attack. So great weapon, 4 points, it's a lot. And a shield is 2. So you get a shield option. So if you want to keep them cheap, I guess you give them the shield option. They don't shoot, but since they're ambushing, shooting and ambushing is a nice combo, especially when you put out a lot of dice to take out war machines. You come on a turn and you just, 10 of these guys would fling out 10
Correct.
strength 4 shooting attacks. That's pretty nice.
Or 20 if you go with the throwing weapons.
I'm sorry, I meant to say 20 strength 4 shooting attacks. Yes, that's what I meant to say.
Without paying a movement penalty.
Right. Yeah, true. Quite good. May upgrade one model to each of the following usual upgrade, which we talked about before. And the 2 shooting weapons count towards their Clans of Thunder category. Right. Annoying. And they're limited to 3 units of these.
Yeah, that's good.
Because of the ambush.
Because of the ambush thing.
Yeah,
the only thing I object to this unit is the ambush and scoring.
Yeah, that's my only problem with them.
Take the scoring off, this unit's fine.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Except for that.
Right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, that gives us the Rangers.
Yes.
Ooh, okay, that's better.
That's something.
Rangers for 120.
They don't want us to see them. They're hiding.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Scrambled it.
Yeah.
Rangers for 120, you can get 5. And can add up to 15 more for 20 points a model.
So you can do a nice little...
Only have 0 to 2 of these in your army.
Yeah, you can do 2 nice little chaff units if you needed such a thing, which you don't really need because you have other things to do it better with.
You have heavy armor, relentless, sturdy, shield wall.
Yeah.
You scout, you have strider.
Forest.
Only in the forest, huh? Scoring, may gain...
Shouldn't the miners have like Strider for ruins?
that would actually be kind of interesting. Yeah. The only unit that gets that.
Yeah.
They may gain skirmishers and lose scoring for 2 points a model.
Okay, it's an
odd trade-off. Okay.
Well, I've seen it in other lists. You get skirmishers, you lose scoring.
You can take a shield for 2. Shooting, you can may take shooting weapons, throwing weapons, or crossbows. 2 or 4 points.
So they're ballistic skill 4. I'm sorry, the other guys were ballistic skill 3 or 4. The miners.
The other guys are 4.
The miners were 4 for ballistic skill.
They were ballistic skill 3.
3. So these guys get a better ballistic skill.
They lose a strength though.
Yes, I didn't.
They're trading the ballistic skill for.
So that explains why the weapons are cheaper. Okay.
especially the throwing weapons.
Yeah,
right?
I was wondering, but yeah, okay.
They may take a weapon, paired weapons for 2, great weapon for 4, and they have their standard unit upgrades. Max 15 per unit per model if you go with the skirmish. 15 models per unit if you go with the skirmish. And if you give them the throwing weapons or crossbow, they count towards the clan thunder.
Well, the crossbow skirmish is no use.
Crossbow skirmish is no use. I don't think you want crossbows in this unit simply because
No,
this is a unit you want to move.
Yeah, I'm saying it's no use. If you're gonna go skirmish, do you see these units? If you're gonna go skirmish, I guess you go with throwing weapons.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's an odd unit.
Yeah, you're losing some attack abilities because you're larger frontage.
But they do have scout.
Yeah.
Which lets you place them later, which also lets you,
Let's you put them in front of some fast cav or something.
Well,
who's not going to
120
beat
points
them.
for a cheap chaff unit is not bad.
Yeah, like I said, 60 old points. Well, you end up giving them throwing weapons or a little bit more. But yeah, it'll be less than 200.
Yeah, 10 points for throwing weapons.
Yeah, I mean, it gets you to put something out there, especially if you're going with an Air Force type of build, which
Right.
we'll look at later. So, yeah, I mean, I can see the use for them. Don't have a problem with this unit at all.
No,
I don't get the crossbows. I guess because I used to have crossbows.
they used to have crossbows.
They'd be better off counting as bows, and
Right.
that would make sense to me. But
Yes.
crossbows doesn't make any sense. Okay, brings us to the Seekers. 110 points for 5 models.
Okay. 5 points cheaper than the rate. That's the other guys.
Yes, and may take up an additional 20 because you want to have these limited to 3 units per army.
Okay.
And you can get additional 20 models for 22 points per model. You ever see 3 units of 5?
I did not.
Okay. The movement 3 is normal. Weapon skill is only 4. Normal dwarf 4. The skill doesn't matter. Strength toughness 4. 1 wound. Initiative 2. 1 attack. And leadership 10. They have paired weapons and great weapon, but they have the special rule. You can always wound on a 4 up.
Right.
And they get
Correct.
weapons master. They're relentless and sturdy. Hey, they don't have shield wall.
That's amazing.
Or the other thing. Yeah. They're seeker special rules. They're unbreakable. Leadership 10 unbreakable.
Yeah.
What do they need leadership 10
Why
for?
bother?
Yeah. Ward save of 6. Whatever. I'd give them a 5.
This way, if something wants to yell at them, they're leadership 10.
There you go.
Like the screaming attack.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to think of what to use for that. I'm not a fan of ward saves of 6 generally. I think it's kind of like a luck roll.
It is.
To me, if you're going to give somebody, if there's something special, just give them a 5. Their weapons master, as we said, they get bigger.
Can you repeat that to the orc board
Yeah,
about the ferals?
I'd say the same thing about. I'd say that about a number of other guys. There's a number of 6 ward things. I just don't. If you can't boost it, I mean, it's different if you can boost it. But
Right.
if you can't boost it, then it's making it 5. You seem to be paying a lot for a fixed, 15% chance save.
Right.
You're coming for with me, which is the other rule. May take Vanguard, so you can move them forward, but you're paying a price for that, which isn't bad if you do them in small units. Actually, it's probably worthwhile if you're doing the Air Force build. They can skirmish 2 points. So what you're doing there is you're only getting 1 attack each. So I guess it's probably you're somewhat limiting your fighting ability. Oh, you only get 1 choice. So yeah, whatever. May upgrade to a champion, a musician, a standard bearer. Interesting that they can skirmish and still have those upgrades.
What? Oh, the command upgrades?
Yeah. A lot of times you can't have those when you can go to skirmish. So yeah.
Yeah, and I don't see a skirmish being a problem. That big of a problem with these guys.
I don't think it's a problem at all. I don't know if you take it or not.
Right.
I guess it helps you survive getting shot at, so you don't have any armor. But
Yep. Okay. So these are the old unbreakable guys. They're called Seekers now,
yeah,
not Berserkers or whatever they were.
yeah. I don't know about the 5's okay for what it is.
5 what?
Starting at strength 5.
Oh, yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, it's interesting. These guys can start at strength 5, but the guys above have to start at 15.
You mean strength 5?
I'm sorry,
Models 5.
models strength of 5. Yes, yeah.
I don't know where you're even getting strength of 5.
I don't mean
know what you're talking
the strength of the unit.
about. Model size of 5.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
5 what millimeter?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about now. You've
Yeah.
just completely gone now. So anyway, solid unit. It's got a place for these in every army because they just destroy monsters.
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to the Vengeanceseeker for 120 points. You only have 2 of these. He's a single model. Movement 3, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, tough 4, 3 wounds, 2 initiative, little sun for attacks,
Yes.
10 leadership, and he's a 20mm guy.
Yes.
He has the Whirling Chains of Doom.
Yes.
Close combat weapon. Attacks made with this weapon gain +1 strength and strike at initiative 10.
Yes.
And the wielder gains random attacks 3d3.
3d3.
A model with this weapon cannot be joined by
3 to 9.
So 3 to 9, average of 6.
Yes.
He's averaging 6 attacks.
Strength 5.
Strength 5.
And he has a special rule, so he always wins on a 4-up anyway.
He does. He is relentless. He is unbreakable. He has a ward save of 6. He has the bigger they are, which is the ability to swift stride when he's charging stuff.
Bigger there is a 4-up, and the You're Coming With Me is a swift stride, right?
You're Coming With Me is when you die, you still wound.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Bigger you are, I think, has both of those.
Right.
Anyway.
I remember, yeah. Something like that.
Hard target, distracting. So -1 to be shot at, -1 to hit in combat with weapon skill 5.
Yes.
Yeah. This guy's really good.
Yeah. He does make it...
I see a lot of him.
Yes. It makes it difficult to take the unit above.
I see both.
Yeah. I'm just saying it makes
Yeah,
it
it
difficult to
does.
take the unit above.
Yeah, no, he's really good. 3d3. The guy can go nuts. He can whiff. He can go down to 3.
And he doesn't lose, he's not random movement or anything,
Right.
So you have to keep him protected so he doesn't get shot off.
Well, he's hard to hit.
And then
He's
you're...
-1 to be hit. He's tough 4.
Well, it's real hard to hit if he's behind
And he's
people.
got this huge 6-up ward save.
Yeah, there is that. But, I think it's pretty potent. It's a really nice chaff piece.
It is really nice chaff piece, especially, like you said, if you can keep him hidden for the first couple turns.
Yep.
The problem is with your...
Initiative 10 is a bit... Wow.
Yeah, everything going at initiative 10 is
Yes.
crazy. It's the Whirling Chains of Doom.
Yeah.
He hits
Average
you
of
before
6,
you can get
strength
close to
5.
him.
Probably hitting most units on a 3. Yeah.
He hits you before... Those Whirling Chains, they must be really long chains.
They're very long chains. They hit
go before a big long lance pokes you.
before Lance can poke you, exactly.
Guy charging you with a horse and a lance.
Yeah.
And you're killing him before he goes.
Yes.
Anyway. All right. Brings us to the Hold Guardians. Here comes a unit I don't see ever.
Okay, Hold Guardians, 310 points, only 3 models. May add up to 5 models for 120 points, so unit of 8. Only 2 units per army, that's why, because you can only have 2 of them.
Oh, that's why I don't see
They are monstrous infantry. This is one of the new units for the army. Their movement 5, so for monstrous infantry, they're slightly on the slow side. The same as basically the tree guys for the Sylvan Elves.
But they march faster than dwarves.
Oh, that's true, and they march faster
Just thought I'd point that out.
They march faster than a lot of heavy cavalry.
Right. But most monstrous infantry is movement 6.
Yes,
Just thought I'd
correct.
point that out.
Correct.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So weapon skills 4, which is average for this type of guy. Ballistic skill 3 doesn't matter. Strength 6.
That's really good.
So the highest base strength. Other guys have to have special weapons to get that. Toughness 5, so it's on the better, usually 4 or 5, on the better side for toughness. 3 wounds, normal. Only initiative 2, so they're a little slow. Only have 2 attacks.
And that's where they suffer.
This is where it bothers people about them. Because most monsters infantry has 3, and a lot of them have all kinds of bonus. Some have up to 5,
Yes,
so
correct.
But they do come with plate armor and innate defense 6, so that gives them a 3-up armor save.
Okay.
So they're some of the best protect, except for maybe
I
trolls.
wonder why they didn't give them shields and just be... Oh, because I guess they don't want them to have parry. Okay.
Weapon skill 4, so what? They could have given shields. Immunopsychology, magical attacks, they're magical. They do have multiple wounds, D3, so it does help them against other monstrous stuff.
That's what's supposed to make up for the low attacks.
Yes. And this is kind of you see this in Age of Sigmar, you have less attacks, but the attacks are more powerful type of
Okay.
thing. Yeah. They are scoring, which is nice. And they have the full upgrade for command. They don't have a magic standard though, which is kind of
They don't, but
not even, which is kind of interesting. They don't have the option at least.
right.
310 for 3. So basically,
I would have to
field
look at these
points.
closely and see how they run against another. I mean, if they're facing monstrous infantry, I think these things are good.
Yeah,
I mean, because you are T5.
you're getting 2 attacks plus a stomp against infantry over a 40 millimeter base. You are leadership 10.
Yeah.
You get hit in the flank though, you're not very happy. I mean,
Okay.
you're leadership 10, but
They get good armor.
good armor.
I mean, 3 up, right?
Yeah, I think they need something.
I think they would be fantastic if they had a third attack. They may be
Well,
too good.
they'd
if
be
they had-
too good if they had a third attack, but I think they need, heck, I mean, maybe even stubborn. They need something. Maybe a leadership 9 stubborn would be better. But if you're trying to make them the resilient guys, then
Right.
they have to be more, they have to stand up to things hitting them because they're not going to put out a lot of attacks.
No.
6 attacks, big deal from the front, 2 from the flank.
Right.
You know, against 1 wound models, that's, you're
Yeah, you're going to lose that fight.
yeah, you're already fighting against standard combat res, and that's
Yeah, they do kind of need something like stubborn, don't they?
yeah. I think if they had that, I said maybe
Stubborn
leadership
9 rather than
9,
leadership
stubborn,
10.
then they could hold stuff up at least.
Correct.
They are guardians for Christ's sake.
That is true.
If they don't want to do that, then they have to give them a shooting weapon. I mean, that's the only other thing to
Right, I guess.
yeah, because I think 3 attacks at multi wounds D3
That would be too good.
would be
You're
at
right.
strength 6 would be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. we think that
So, stubborn.
we think those mercenary guys are bad.
Yes.
It's like or Shopty, oh my god.
Change this to stubborn 9. I think you're done with this.
Yeah, I think
this
you are
unit.
too. You know, tweak the points maybe slightly, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Brings us to the Grudge Buster.
Okay, we got a grudge on this thing.
You only have 2 of these in your army.
Yeah, that's
They cost 370 points.
too many.
It's a single model with a movement of 8, fly 8.
Yes.
Excuse me. It only moves 1 on the ground. So if somehow you can stop its fly, you can
catch
because
it.
there are several things that no flying.
That's true. So, it's
it
still
can
only
move 1.
so it can only charge 2d6 plus 1.
Correct. Actually, flying gives it. Okay, can't.
If it's on the ground, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, strength 5, tough 5, 5 wounds, 2 initiative. It has 2 crew with weapon skill 4, forge repeater, strength 4.
2 crew with 2
2
attacks
crew
each.
with 2 attack. 2 attacks each at strength 4.
Yeah.
Plus, I guess the crew do not have the sturdy rules. They're not getting +1 strength on the charge.
Darn.
Huh.
Yes.
I'm surprised that got through.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2 attacks each. So they got 4 attacks, 4 strength, 4 attacks from the crew. They have the Forge Repeater, which is the 4-shot multi 18-inch, I believe,
Right.
multi-barrel weapon. Fly 8, impact hits +1
So it gets impact hits
because it is a chariot.
It is a
flying
chariot. A tough 5 wound chariot
And then 3
with a 3 up armor save.
3 up armor save and a 3d3 grinding.
And because a
attack.
flying chariot isn't good enough,
Correct.
it needs to be able to grind.
So in a combat, you do 3d3 strength 5 and 4 attacks at strength 4.
So
Those 3d3
well, if you're
strength
charging, you
5
get
are
4. You know, on average 4 impact hits at strength 5. Then you get 6 more for the grinding attacks.
Are you still limited to either grinding or impact?
Are you limited to grinding or impact?
I think you're
Could
limited
be.
to one or the other. I could be wrong.
I'll go with the grinding 3d3.
Yeah, you're always going to go with the grinding
Yeah.
3d3. So anyway,
So yeah, while you're looking that up, yeah, this was a new unit. I liked the idea of having like a big blimp unit being added to the to this army.
this isn't a blimp. This is
I
a
know.
tank.
I know, but turning that blimp into a tank, yeah. So
Yeah.
this does better than the infernal dwarves have with their train thing.
No, it's not as good as their train thing. Well, this flies though.
It flies.
and shoots.
You don't have to just choose between shooting and grinding. You get to do both.
Yeah.
And you fly is such a big deal for something
Fly's
that's
a big deal.
tough, well armored,
And fly 8
and
is
it's
really
and
good.
it's fast. You know, if the thing was a lot slower.
Yeah, it would be more acceptable. But you
And-
do have to choose between grind and impact.
Okay, I still the grinds. You know,
Yeah, you're
And-
going to do the grind every
and
turn.
it's interesting they went to 3D3 that way they can ensure that they always average on a good side instead
Right.
of 2D6 like a lot of other things.
I mean, if you're doing, why the impact even there then? Because the impact
Well,
is
that's my thing. I wouldn't have the impact.
impact is 2 to 7.
Yeah.
Your minimum is 2, max of 7. Grinding an average of what, 4.5
Yeah.
for impact. Grinding's average 6,
Correct.
minimum 3, top 9.
Yeah, you're always going to grind.
It's always better in every way, so
Yeah.
it's almost like why bother?
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a fantastic model. I mean, it's a 3-up, tough 5, 3-up armor, 5 wounds.
I mean, it's not
It's a
cheap.
It's close to a flying steam tank.
It is. It's not cheap, but yeah, it's so well protected. And then to have, on average, 10 attacks on top of that and fly, you know, for supposedly flying things aren't supposed to have be as good as ground items
Right, because of the fly.
because of the fly. It's,
Yeah.
I think this one thinks so. For the point, I mean, it is expensive, but it's not expensive enough for what you're getting.
Right. I agree.
I take this over, you know, Tree Fathers this way till Sunday.
All right. Clan Thunder.
Clan Thunder, 35 points. This is the shooting category. We get the Forge Wardens, something that was added in the 8th edition. 280 points for 10 models. So, you know, slightly expensive shooters. 10 additional models, 28 points. Again, for 20. Can only have 30 models per army. I wish they did more of this limits per army instead of this multiple category
Yeah,
thing.
20
they
per
have.
unit, 30 per army. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. They have a forge gun, so this one isn't in the actual armory; it's down by the unit.
Right. This
The,
one is kind of the same as the above, but
Yes, it's
Downstream from
earlier. I was confusing this with the
Right.
other thing above. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a shooting weapon, range 18, strength 5, flaming attacks, quick to fire. So move and shoot no penalty at but they only ballistic skill 3. The weapon skill is 5. Their strength 4, toughness 4, 1 wound, initiative 2 again, 1 attack, and leadership 9. It's interesting they don't have like an elite initiative 3 dwarf unit without taking special weapons. They come with plate armor. They're relentless and they're sturdy, so they don't have the other dwarf rules. They get a ward save of 6 fixed.
no, they don't have shield wall because they can't have a shield.
Yeah, yeah. The ward save of 6. They're fireborn, so they're protected against flaming, whatever. They're scoring. They can have their normal command options, and they can have a magic standard, but only for 50 points. That's kind of
The special.
there must be some runic standard that would work too well with them or something. I'm trying to limit. I'm guessing, because otherwise,
Right.
why would you limit these guys that they're?
So it's an 18-inch shooting, strength 5 though, flaming attacks, quick to fire. That's good.
It's very nice, at least.
But they're really good in combat as well.
Not really good in combat. They're good. They're solid.
Weapon skill 5 with a 4-up armor. They're only strength 4, I guess.
Yeah, I mean 4-up armor. They're only strength 4. They don't have a shield.
Actually, yeah, this is kind of a weird unit.
Yeah,
Now that I'm looking at it closer, because you've got a 5 weapon skill in a shooty unit,
exactly.
5 weapon skill and a strength 4 and a.
Well, the old one was supposed to be both. And,
Correct.
And this one is, yeah, I don't. You're limited to the range of the shooting. I mean, if you
Right.
really want this additional unit to have some strength 5, range 18, I mean that'll just rape people if it gets the shot off.
Right.
But the unit is small, so
But I mean, it's really close range. I mean, ballistic skill 3.
yeah. Wouldn't mind seeing these in units of 5. That might make more sense to me.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be.
Then they're just
Maybe that
shooty
would help
units.
'em.
You know, you can maneuver them around. Maybe in light troops, strength 5.
Right.
That'd
They
be
can
kind of
move-
interesting.
They can move and without penalty.
Yeah.
So that kind of increases their range by 3, I guess, because you can't march and shoot.
Right. That's why. Make them light troops. Maybe that might work.
Let them march and shoot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't think they're. I mean, They'll probably withstand a lot of light cav units smacking them because they're just tough enough and just protected enough.
4-up armor and tough 4 with 4-up armor.
So I mean, it'll be 5-up against a lot of light units attacking them, and they have good leadership, so they'll. I mean, they might still leave the combat.
They don't have shield wall, but they have a ward save 6.
Ooh, that bears that 6 again.
There's your 6-up ward save.
Yeah, I don't like this unit.
I'm not a fan of this.
I think they need to do something. Maybe I think if they made it, 5 models and they made them light troops, and then they could be, like kind of a support unit, you might find a purpose for them.
If they did, I think this has a couple needs. One or two things.
Yeah.
It either needs to go into and become a shooter unit,
right,
and get rid of this weapon skill 5 and do something else, or
you don't want to have too high of a ballistic skill with a strength 5 weapon. That's the only thing.
Understood, but
especially if you have 20 of them.
I'm just saying. No, I mean, give it something else, like you were saying. Give it the light troops so they can march and fire, or something like that. But I mean, get rid of the weapon skill 5 and maybe even drop their plate armor. Or they could do something like but you don't want to get them too close to the Infernal Dwarves, is make this a halberd as well, and make them a true fighty / we fire our weapons if you charge us, otherwise we're coming at you with our halberds.
Yeah, I think if you do that, then you have to drop the shooting range.
Right, so
to something less.
I just think it needs something.
It needs something,
kind of in the middle of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of.
Holy crap! There's a unit that we think is not great.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
This armor.
Yeah.
All right.
Frankly, it's most of the units in this army are fine. It's only a couple things.
That brings us to the steam copters.
Yes.
You can have 3 units of these in your army.
Yes. The term is units.
The term is units. They are fly 8, toughness 5 with 3 wounds. Weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, tough 4, 2 initiative, 2 attacks from the pilot.
Yes.
They have heavy armor, mounts protection 6, so they have a 4-up armor.
They give them plate.
I don't know why. I don't know why they don't do some things.
Yeah.
To simplify, giving them plate armor would just cross a line off.
Frankly, they could just call armor, and just say armor 6, armor 4, armor 3. Yeah.
Exactly. But at least that way. But if he called it plate, then you can just say, "Hey, I have plate." Oh, so then everyone knows you have a 4-up.
Exactly.
So anyway, fly 8. It's got a forge repeater. Form one of the following units. You can form attack copters, in which case you can have 0 to 2 units of attack copters per army, and 1 model per unit, and you can add another 1 model for 160. You can add a second model to the unit for 120.
Do you find these when you're playing? I'm gonna play dwarves in pairs or singles?
Singles. Although I recently saw a battle report from Blondebeard running a unit of 2.
Was doing his pairs.
I think he had 1 of 2 and 1 of 1.
Okay.
I believe. Anyway.
Because then it gives you the forge repeater that you may actually shoot something up.
The forge repeater is really good with a ballistic skill 4 guy firing it.
Yeah, and if you have 2 of them shooting, that can help you against certain chargers.
Shrapnel grenades.
Shrapnel's a different army.
Sweeping attacks, which can be used once per game. The unit enemy suffers D3 strength 3 hits for each steam copter in the unit. 1 use only. Okay. That's close to almost why bother. D3 strength 3 hits, It's good against chaff. It's not good against chaff. It has its uses against chaff, because maybe you can cause that wound to cause a panic.
Yeah, especially if you have 2 of them. You got 2 D3, so now you're...
But they are strength 3, so I mean, like I said,
and they're not...
It's almost a why bother,
they're not AP or anything. Yeah, right. It's kind of a holdover from the old game.
If you have 2 models, you can skirmish for 20 to give yourself -1 to be hit, which is not terrible.
20 points per model, I'm assuming, or if 2 models.
No, 20 points to
skirmish. For the unit. May skirmish. I don't know, because
you can only do it if you're 2 models. It doesn't say 20 each. It just says
okay.
May skirmish for 20.
Yeah, if you're taking 2, you definitely do that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do it if it's 1.
Yeah, that's the thing. Take 2, though, you definitely do that.
So you also have the other option you have is the steam bomber for 200 points.
Mm-hmm.
You can have 2 of these per army, and they're a single model. They still have the forge repeater. They change their shrapnel grenades for shrapnel bombs. These have sweeping attacks. The enemy suffers D6 times 2 strength 3 hits with AP 1.
Mm-hmm.
If a natural 6 is rolled for the number of hits, after the attack has been resolved, the shrapnel bombs cannot be used anymore this battle. So 2 to 12 strength 3 hits with AP 1 just from flying over something. That's kind of nice.
That natural 6 is bad.
The natural 6 makes it bad. Now you're down to an attack copter, though. I mean, it's not like you paid 40 points.
If you're paying 40 points, and
you're only paid 40 points for that additional bombing attack. I like it.
Yeah, I don't like if a natural 6 is rolled.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Because you're also, if you means you rolled the 6, it means you also did 12 strength 3 hits.
Yeah, I suppose.
Not shots, hits.
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, it's D6 times 2. I'm sorry.
Right.
My brain, I'm thinking 2D6. So.
Yeah, and it's not 2D6. I mean, if you get the 6,
Yeah.
you did 12. You did 12 strength 3 hits.
Yeah, you get annoyed if you roll the first time, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, understood, but I still think it's well
Yeah,
worth it.
no, that's fine. You're right, that's fine.
You can have a total of 3 units. You can have 2 units of 2
Right.
and 1 of these.
So I can still use my 6 models.
5. 2 of 2.
Oh,
and
I'm
1
sorry,
of
5.
these.
Darn, I've got one too many.
You got 1 too many still.
Yeah, to sell that one to somebody. Yeah, this
But
unit,
I like both these.
they brought these into 8th edition.
Correct.
Um,
Actually, no, they were around before then. Oh, the
Right.
bombers were in 8th.
yeah, it was the same model.
The copters were way back because I have the old.
Oh,
remember
the gyrocopters. Yeah,
gyrocopters
yeah,
have been around for a long time.
yeah. Yeah, the bombers.
But this is new.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I liked that they added this. The army doesn't have cavalry. Hopefully it won't get any.
Right.
This gives it a
maneuver element.
a maneuver element that is not, if you want single units, it's still less than 200 points, or which is basically 80 old points if you think of it that way. So about the same price as a lot of fast cav, but it flies, it's quick. It's got a pretty good shooty gun.
Yeah, which is going to really wreck any any other little fast.
It can. And ballistic skill 4, and the thing was quick to fire, right?
4 shots, quick to fire. Yeah.
Yeah, that's and a good strength.
Let me check real quick.
Yeah, go back.
before I
I'm
go.
trying to remember what the heck we said here.
But it's this.
Forge repeater, range 18, which is fantastic.
Strength 5.
Range 18 might be a bit excessive, but strength 5, flame anti quick to fire, multiple shots, do 4. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're paying a -1 for multi-shot.
Yeah, and you shoot 18. Man,
18 is a long way.
that is really. I should probably trim that down. They're giving it something that flies 16 inches. Okay, I guess that didn't work.
Yes, that didn't work. I was hoping to be able to just.
So I when they added these armies, I was one of the first people that went out and bought the models because I thought just a cool thing. That's you think of them as this kind of steam technology.
Mm-hmm.
So don't have a problem with these.
No, I don't either. I thought it was interesting way back in 8th edition
I
when you
don't-
could do the I think you could do the flying circus with 8,
Yeah,
which was funny because we had one guy down in the North Carolina tournament do that one time.
yeah.
But
Now these with the other flying tank, I think is a bit
it's a bit much.
much.
Yeah. Because you can end up with 5, 6, 7 guys flying around, I guess.
Yes, at decent speed, all with pretty good shooting, and the other two get too close, and all of a sudden you got
Well, they all have
the
forge
shit
repeaters
grinded
on
out
them.
of you. Yeah, it's a really nice. And since they're single base units, you can position them in all the right places.
Right. I mean, now and I see them used.
You're interdicting marching as the guys, are trying to
Correct.
approach your gun line in the corner.
Right, and jumping in between units so they can't charge
Exactly.
you.
If you need to, you sacrifice one of these.
Right.
When you're out of these, you send your little seeker guy forward.
Correct.
So so they
And
never
your-
get to your guys.
And your leadership 9, so I mean, it's not like you're march blocked very easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are really nice. The copters are good.
Well, they don't have a musician.
Okay, good point. So maybe it'll go down to an 8.
Yeah.
I like both the attack copter and the steam bomber. I think they're both really
Yeah,
good.
no, I any list that I would play would maximize these guys because it just adds such a fun maneuverable element to
Correct.
the army.
Yeah, and dwarves in general have never been a maneuver army.
Yeah,
But of course now with the ambushing and other stuff that kind of
yeah, I'm okay with all that except
Changes
for
that a bit.
they made their war machine still really good. Speaking of which, Engines of War. Engines of War. 20%.
Correct.
Field Artillery. The machine, 4 wounds, toughness 5, so normal war machine. It's got 3 crew, only thing, leadership 9, which is very nice.
Yep.
It happens to be leadership 9 stubborn, so they held on to that from...
yeah, that's fantastic.
That is fantastic. So basically, and the guys are weapon skill 4. So toughness 4, weapon skill 4 with heavy armor, so they also get a 5-up armor. So this doesn't give them plate. 60mm round base. I guess the dwarf weapons can fit on that. I think they have to adjust some of the base sizes, or somehow just can't get on those, on some of those.
Can't fit on them.
On some of the bases, yeah. Although the cannon on a 60 is still pretty tight, even the dwarf cannon, or the catapult thing. Okay, they have a stubborn. They can get an engineering rune. A field artillery with this rune adds +4 to. I'm sorry, it gets an engineering rune.
They must take it.
They must take this terrible ability.
It doesn't say down here anything. No, they must take it.
So, field artillery with this rune adds +4 to any roll on the misfire table.
Correct.
Which basically means what?
Which basically means all you're doing is every time you misfire, you take a wound.
Yep, and you miss only shooting that turn.
Correct, and you still fire the next turn.
Yeah,
regardless.
So that is.
If this needs to be +2 in my opinion. Not +4.
Yeah, unless there are other things to counter it, which they're not. The 10 points for flaming shot. All hits caused by the war machine gain flaming attacks and magical attacks.
Way too cheap.
Way too cheap.
Because this means you can drop those big regenerating monsters.
Yeah. Well, you could shoot at something that's got anti-flame wards. So,
that's because you have 2 cannons, one to shoot at those and one
exactly.
to shoot at the flame.
Well, it's not just the cannons that can take this.
No, correct. Sorry.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a negative for that reason. Yeah,
Sorry,
no, it's
you
way
are
too
correct.
cheap.
My mistake.
And then you must take one of the options, and the list is long. Okay, the first is the Dwarf Ballista, 120 points.
Now I want to point out though, somewhere up here. Yeah, look at the choices per army. Okay, go ahead.
0 to 4, and you can have how many of these choices, right?
There's no limit.
Right, you just have. Correct.
It's per unit. Okay.
Yes, it's the 20% is your only
20%
limitation.
is your cap.
Yeah, so 900 points basically on a normal game. So you can have ballistas, which are bolt thrower, range 48, D3 armor pierce 6, strength 3, strength 6, standard bolt thrower, nothing special. However, they can be rune crafted for 20 points. And all hits on the ballista gain magical attacks and +1 to hit modifier against flying units. So it makes it an anti-flying.
Yeah, that's really good.
Weapon, so against flying monsters and such. And they are ballistic. Everything's ballistic skill 3, unless you have the engineer around. Are they? Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then it brings us to 130 points. So only 10 more points. I can have a flame cannon. Flamethrower artillery weapon. Range 18, strength 4, strength 5, multiple runes D3, flaming attacks.
And that 5 is short range.
Yes. And the flame gain, and for 40 points, I can get 6 more inches. So I can get out to 24 and gain magical attacks. Oh my.
And this hits D3 per rank. That's how it works.
Yes. Yeah.
Up to a maximum of 5, I believe.
Can be very, very scary, especially when it shoots up to 24. Especially since you're a defensive army and people have to come to you. Because no one's going to outshoot you. Or I shouldn't say no one. Hardly anyone's going to outshoot you.
Correct.
Depends how you build your army. Catapult, 220 points, almost twice as much. 0.2 per army. It's a catapult 4, so 4x4 artillery weapon, range 12 to 60, strength 3, 7 under the hole, or 7 under the target. Multiple wounds, D3, plus clipped wing, so against flying things it gets an extra wound. Normal catapult stats there. You can make them rune crafted at 100 points, which is a lot. All hits paused by the catapult gain +1 strength, so it takes me up to a strength 4. Armor piercing 1, so -2, and magical attacks.
So, just to start my own personal bitching.
Okay.
An orc catapult is 180.
Yes.
So for 40 points, you're getting Stubborn Leadership 9.
Yes.
Just saying. And, sorry, Stubborn Leadership 9 and always a 5 or 6 if you misfire.
Yes.
I'm pretty thinking that's well worth the 40-point upgrade. Oh, sorry, and armor in case you get shot.
Yes.
Heavy armor, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And a 5-up save if you get shot by
Yes.
bows.
Yes. And it's going to take them a while to grind you down. Let's say with a light unit.
Correct.
Actually, some light units may actually lose to this thing.
Okay.
Okay. Then brings us to the cannon, 270 points. A little pricey, 0 to 2. Can be fired in 2 ways as a cannon artillery weapon with range 60, 3, 10 under the target, multi-wounds D3 +1, plus clipped wings against flyers. As a volley gun, 2d6, artillery weapon with range 12, strength 4, armor piercing 3, which is basically self-defense. It can get rune crafted for 40 points. All hits caused by the cannon gain +1 strength up to a maximum of 10.
It just helps your bounce.
Yes.
It helps the penetrating hit.
Yeah, and
and the volley gun.
and the volley gun and magical attacks. If you're gonna have a cannon,
I don't know that it's worth. I wouldn't put the extra 40 points in it.
I don't know
Because I mean, the cannons.
if you
When I play cannon, if I
3 to 4 isn't going to help you much, and that's why you're using it usually.
correct, and I think your cannons mainly for the big hit, not the.
I agree. The way they're designed currently, they're actually
Right.
worse than bolt throwers against units.
That is true.
For the points, definitely. Then it brings us to the organ gun. 280 points, another expensive weapon. 0 to 2 again. It's a volley gun, 2d6 times 2. So 14 on average. Artillery weapon with range of 30, strength of 5, armor piercing 1. Rune crafted, all hits caused by the organ gun gain +1 to wound modifier, not +1 strength, and magical attacks.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. This one you see rune crafted.
Of course, because it's basically will obliterate any monster sitting in front of it.
Correct. It means it's wounding
Unless you have bad luck.
anything on a 5.
Yeah.
At worst.
Yeah. If it
Right.
happens to be something that's...
With AP 1, so
Tough to
it's
7 or
basically
higher.
-3 armor.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's going to blow right through most monsters.
Yeah.
Especially if you spend another 10 points and make it flaming. Now you're really scaring.
Yeah.
Even an abomination is terrified
Yes,
of that thing.
yes. It's one of the few things it's afraid of.
Yeah.
These are
Really good.
they've made Dwarven artillery really good, and that would be okay if it was strictly a defensive army and you wanted to play gun line.
Right.
But allowing them to play gun line and be really shooting and sit in the corner at the same time having guys that are messing with you at range, and then when you get relatively close to them,
Tear you up.
they have these other bonuses. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, and moving on, that's going to be
That's
it.
it.
So, based on what you're saying, I mean, to me, that's the biggest thing they did with this army that was the problem.
They made it good at everything.
It is so good at everything.
Yep, it's a good magic army.
Right.
It's a good close combat army. It's a good shooting army.
Mm-hmm. It's probably not the best in any of it. Well, it might be one of the best shooting armies.
I'd say it's probably the best. You can probably make it the best shooting army.
It's a really good fighting army. It's not the best fighting army.
No, it is not the best fighting army.
But with a ton
Although
of...
some of those character upgrades can stand up to anything.
Well, yeah, you put those characters... The penalty they have in the character upgrades for the most part is... I mean, it's a guy whose movement... Well, I keep saying movement 3, but he's a guy on foot.
Yes.
So you can avoid the guy that... In most times, you can avoid the guy that you're afraid of with that big weapon.
Yeah, you're hoping.
The problem is...
He's in such a small footprint, maybe not.
The big problem, though, is like you were saying, though, is because the army is so good at everything, there's no reason not to take your shooting, shoot everybody up, and then finish them off when they get in close with your above-average fight ability.
Your only answer with many armies is to try to sit back out of range of most of the shooting until turn 6 and hope you have an objective
that you can get to.
That you can get to in the middle of the turn, so you can not lose enough to compensate and get a draw or a minor win, which is not a fun way to play a game.
It is not. And they have the ambushing unit, so
yes,
if depending on what your objective is, they can get scoring units into your deployment zone.
Yes,
without having to move, basically. Correct.
Although you can probably focus on those guys.
Well, yeah, come up on the other side of a hill or something, whatever.
But under most circumstances.
There's a lot of problems with that as well.
Of course, that could keep you from getting to the objectives yourselves because you're trying to get rid of these guys.
Exactly.
With units that are strong enough to fight them.
Yeah, because they're not pushovers.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's my problem with this army. It is a very good magic army. It's one of the better magic armies. It's one of the better shooty armies.
Because of the strength of bound versus non-bound right now.
It's a really good combat army.
They make really good characters. Now, the downside to having the extra points for magic runes is you're going to have, in theory, less characters.
Correct.
It's interesting that one guy doesn't count as a character, though he's basically a character. The
Vengeance Seeker.
The Vengeance Seeker. You're basically getting a free character.
Yeah, he cannot take any runes though or anything.
Yeah, that's fine. There's lots of characters that have limited upgrades.
Correct. Yeah. But again, it's too good at everything is the problem with this army.
Yeah, that's my feeling.
So,
the magic rune stuff bothers me.
That bothers me a lot.
From a fluff perspective, that if you're going to give them all that, then they shouldn't have the magic defense ability. That if you're deciding that from a fluff reason this is not a magic army, I'll say then to have all the fighting bonuses of specials and everything, and then the shooting is just. If it was tied to the type of general you took,
correct.
You had a fighting army,
or you had
a shield wall army,
or whatever,
or you had an engineer army.
Right.
That I'd be okay with. So you'd be really strong on one of the abilities, you had those bonuses, but you're giving up something else.
Right. If you could only take clan warriors or something as fighter guys, so that when
the special rule you only get it with this general, you get these rules.
Correct.
And with this general, you get
like
war machines,
like they did with the terracotta.
Yeah.
Thing with the Undying Dynasty.
Right.
Yeah, you can do this, but if you do this, this means you can't do this.
Right.
Which means you could play your gun line or semi-gun line or whatever that they're allowing now, as far as that goes.
They haven't stopped the gun line.
They've toned them down a bit.
Not for this army.
They did a little bit because now your units can't all have guns as well.
Okay, sure.
I mean, it closes. They've toned down your short range.
Well, you got 35% of guns and then 20% of war machines.
Right.
So,
But I mean, it used to be you could take this army and.
900 points for war, and the most expensive war machine is 270.
Yeah, something like that.
So. But you can get 4 or 5 war machines.
Probably more because it's going to be over 300 because you're going to get that +1 to wound thing on it.
Yeah. Well, it depends which war machines you're taking.
Right.
So if you want to go with those, I guess if you want to go with bolt throwers instead of cannons, for example.
But again, like I said before, though, my problem is it's just so good at everything. It's a problem.
Yeah.
And you can't even go down to they move slow because they don't.
They don't move slow.
They move faster than army.
They march faster than many armies, and they lose 1 inch on charge. Big deal.
Right.
In pursuit.
But it's okay because their 1 inch charge they gave up. Well, if they happen to make it, they're sturdy. If they fail to make it, well, now they've got shield wall.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they've made up for that in other ways.
Yeah.
And the shield wall is really good. The 5-up ward save on the charge when you get charged.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good.
The first round of combat is just really good.
Frankly, +1 strength when you're charging is really good.
Because that's when a lot of people are trying to have their chance to hurt you is on the charge.
Correct.
Your lances come in and 1/3 of those are blocked.
Yep. Especially if you got guys with 3-up armor saves.
Well, they've got hand weapon shields, so you're only hitting half.
Yeah.
Even if you manage to get a better weapon skill than their god-awful weapon skills. Even if you manage to get a better weapon skill, you're still only hitting half. And then a third, then even after, you're probably going to wound on 2s.
Yes.
But then a third of
Well,
those
it depends on
are
whose
negated.
cavalry you're talking. There's a lot of strength 5 cavalry
There
too.
is. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Then a third of those are negated
By the ward save.
by the ward save.
And before that, a 6 was negated by the armor save,
Correct.
or a third if it was one of the better armored guys.
Right.
So yeah,
It's they need a lot of work. This army needs work. That's all I can say about this.
I don't have a problem. I don't think it's with the exception of maybe the flying tank. I don't have a problem with the pieces. It's what you can construct with the pieces, and I don't have a problem with the gun line play style as a legitimate play style. I don't have a problem with it when you can castle up in a corner. Then there's just too many armies that just have no answer to that.
Correct.
You know? Then it just becomes, and I don't know how you stop that short of changing victory conditions so people just cannot do that. So they at least have to cover a reasonable part of their own
Right.
baseline.
Well, I mean, before, remember there was the standard victory points way back. I don't know how far back it was, where it was table quarters
Yeah,
meant a standard victory point or something out of that. Remember?
yeah. No, you got one for every table quarter. Yeah,
Correct. Which that going away helped this army.
yeah, absolutely. Well, it definitely makes you. It makes it much easier to castle up. I said, you really only have the a couple of secondary objectives you have to be somewhat concerned about. But frankly, I'm not worried about the single one because I'll probably be close enough on the last turn I can charge whoever's there, or march with my 9 inches,
Right.
my entire battle line, and get in range.
If it's a single one.
If it's a single one.
And if it's 2, then you can get one and at least challenge it.
Right. You go for the one that because they're going to be staying away from you for playing that list, and you try to split it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, otherwise you're playing against it because you can't.
Yeah, and
Most armies can't outshoot them. I mean, as I said, depending on the build and how you set things. I mean, there's always
there's
good players, bad
always,
players,
right.
whatever. But most armies can't outshoot it. You're going to get, if you're a close combat, you're going to get shot up trying to get close, and by the time you get back, these guys are.
Right.
Even if they don't beat you, they're so resilient they're not going anywhere because they're.
Right. I mean, the only one.
And then if you're playing an ambush army, he just covers the back and you can't get in there either.
The only objective-based game these guys have, in my mind, have difficulty with, or can have problems with, is the get into your opponent's deployment zone, the breakthrough. And your ambushers can hopefully help you with that, but other than that, they're fine. If you take the flag scenarios, your scoring units are all right there in your little corner where you're hiding,
Right.
and they've got to get through to get to them.
Yeah, you're probably not going to lose the flag scenario.
You're not going to lose
You
them.
may not win it. You may not be able to
Right.
shoot off a unit.
Right.
If the guy's smart, he won't.
And, anyway, depends on the army you're playing, of course. But
Oh, absolutely.
the, I've seen plenty of, you have to pick 3 scoring units. I've seen plenty of people who run a unit of the gray guys, what is the core unit?
Greybeards, whatever
The
they're called.
Greybeards. People run a unit of Greybeards, maybe a unit of Clan Warriors, and a unit of Deepwatch. And if you're lucky, they'll take a 4th unit, or the 3rd. Sometimes the 3rd unit is the unit of the shooter guys, marksmen.
Right.
So you've got to pick 3 of those units.
Yeah.
It's a marksman, Greybeards, or Deepwatch. He's got those 3 units. You've got maybe one of those you can kill by
Yeah.
the time you get across the field to him.
Yeah.
It just, like I said, they're all.
Well, I guess if he takes the ranger guys, or I'm sorry, not the ranger guys, the miner guys, or the range, you can pick them.
You can pick them, but then if that's the scenario, then he can leave those back in his battle line as well.
But then he'll come to the rear just because he's not going for the rear, your deployment area.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Anyway, like I said, I just think this army needs a lot of work.
I don't mind them being shooty. I don't mind them, having defensive magic. I don't mind them, being hard to move. I don't mind that they've given them an option to try to make them fighty, so it's not just all gun line. I think that's
Right.
That's a great thing to try to do, but you almost have to do it as a trade-off against the ability to take the gun line. Having all the abilities And then on top of it, you're getting out magic half the time. So, it's,
Yes.
yeah.
Anyway.
And then you already, and that with some of the rune. The only negative on the rune is it's going against your army points. And stuff in this army at least isn't cheap.
Well, we say that, but then when we looked at the magic items are actually cheap.
They are, but I'm saying, but at least they count towards they count towards your hero
Right,
totals. So you're not going to see 12 heroes running around, but yeah, it's that's the only thing that somewhat counters it. Don't get me wrong, I think they're too cheap for having a bonus is a bit much, but yeah, they just need to work on the composition on how you can
Right.
feel this army.
If they did that, if they had the engineering army, if they had the engineering an army and the fighting army and the whatever else, if they
yeah, 2 or 3 play
then
styles,
that would be fine. But one way or another, they've got to put a weakness in this army somewhere.
Yeah, because frankly, people whine about avoidance armies, and they're not fun to play against the true avoidance armies. It's true, but they're just not as fun to play against somebody who's casual in the corner when you know that you can't get to them.
Correct.
It's okay if you knew you got to them, that you'd be able to tilt the balance
Once you get there, yes.
once you got there, or if if they were so stagnant in their deployment that you could maybe work the angles to your advantage or something. But with war machines shooting 360s, cannons, and other things, they don't care about cover, So it's it makes it. We'll see with version 2 how they're going to change that stuff, but maybe that'll help people spread their things out. If they talk about you can't see through units and stuff,
Right.
it would cause people to cover the frontage a little bit more if they want to shoot. But we'll see. And war machines just in general are already cheap for the damage they do compared to ballistic weapons.
They are.
So yeah. So we'll see in version 2. But right now, yeah, I just think they've made them very good in all aspects of the game, and their only arguable weakness is they don't have a high speed combat unit.
Okay.
They get their flying tank.
Right. But that's not a unit.
That's not a unit.
Correct.
They don't have a unit of cavalry, basically, which, as we know, is not in a good place right now, at least from in our opinion. So yeah, got to give the army a thumbs up because it's good at everything.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I refuse. It cannot get a thumbs up from me.
My challenge with it, as I said, I think it rewards a play style that is not fun to play against.
Correct, and it's a discouraging thing.
It's very discouraging. I can't imagine sitting in a tournament 2.5 hours and just trying to figure out how to play against this thing just to get a draw.
Just to try to get a draw out of it.
Yeah.
Hope you got to just...
Or hope you're playing against an idiot.
Yeah.
So...
Yep. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this one.
This is going to do it for the last one.
So
this is our last army book review.
Exactly.
We got to figure out what we're going to do from now until whenever version 2.0 comes out.
Yeah, no more army book reviews.
We'll be doing no more army book reviews.
We've got a couple other things in mind.
Yeah. There's 2 of our first ones. We kind of did the light job on them. We may go back and do those.
Equitane and the Orcs, we just did the what was different.
Yeah, we may do a better job on those, but we'll see.
We may.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's worth going back over at this point.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
We'll see.
It is only June, so.
Exactly.
Anyway, thank you for listening.
Till next time.